You know what I've been thinking about lately? We've been talking a lot about pick 33. We've already had this thing in our head where we've decided we might just go ahead and already write our name on the list by saying we're going to turn in a quarterback at pick number 33. Coming up in this episode of the Ultimate Browns, we'll actually ask ourselves, are we really all in? And is a slam dunk that you're going to be getting a quarterback at pick number 33 and the Browns are going to move into the first round? We'll talk about that coming up next on this episode of the Ultimate Browns. Welcome on into the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. It's your boy G. Bush. I know we're a little early, 4 o'clock. We usually go on at about 5 o'clock, but Mikey McNuggets has some stuff that he's doing. I got to get out of here and get some stuff done. But before we do, we're going to make sure we get everything going right here on the Ultimate Browns. Listen, we've been talking about it a little bit all summer, and we've been talking about it all last year, this year, all spring. We're going to be talking about it coming up this summer as well. What are we doing at quarterback? And one of the things that we've already found out is obviously Joe Flacco is a guy that got picked up, and the guys and people around the league are very excited about the way Joe Flacco played the last time he was here, and the fans got what they wanted. The fans and the organization got what they wanted. Flacco's back in the mix. How does that change the way the Browns approach some things? And I started to think, is there any other scenario out there where the Browns not only don't take a quarterback at 33, but what happens if they don't take a quarterback with the 2 third-round picks as well? There's a lot of scenarios where we talked about moving up at 15, moving up at 24 with the Vikings, moving up to get ahead of the Steelers to get draft a quarterback. I'm going to explore today with you guys. Is there any other draft picks or draftable players in other positions that you would want to see with the Cleveland Browns besides a quarterback at pick 33? I came up with a scenario in which, you know what, as we go through these lists and go through these names, I wouldn't be mad at a couple of them. I'm not gonna lie. And I've been quarterback guy. I've been the quarterback guy forever in terms of what the Cleveland Browns need to do. But before that, let's get to our title sponsor of the day. And our title sponsor is brought to you by Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work, of taking pride in what they build and practice every detail to get the best results. But no one player, no matter how amazing, can do it alone. Working together makes getting the win easier. At Epicor, the All-Stars are the hardworking manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, not from aerospace to electrical to medical devices. Epicor ERP solutions are created by industry's experts to help make every day easier. Seeing the whole supply chain is easier, managing logistics is easier, and responding to prime changes is easier. From small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises and global vision, we equip you with the right tools to move forward, think ahead, and lead the way. Because the clock ticks down, you need to make the most of every hardworking minute that it is. Easier, don't cut corners. Easier finds the lane. Discover your success at easierwithepicor.com. That's www.easierwithepicor.com. As we talked about it, as we get into this draft, and we talk about this a little bit more, everybody is now automatically assumed that the Cleveland Browns will take a quarterback or will be thinking about taking a quarterback in this draft. And if you think about it from my perspective, I've been one of the guys that's saying that, listen, I want to get a Shedeur Sanders. I want to get a guy like Jackson Dart. I want to move back up into the first round to get one of those quarterbacks. You got Shuck, who is a guy out of Louisville that people are talking about. You still have guys and people that think Jalen Milroe is going to move up, even though I do think he's moving up the board. I don't know how he does it, but Jalen Milroe is a guy that I think people are starting to talk themselves into late first round, early second round. But my question is to you guys out there, is this a foregone conclusion that it's a quarterback? Because in terms of the way things work for me, I don't think that it could be a slam dunk at quarterback. And here's the reason why. The Cleveland Browns have not brought Nick Chubb back. They have not run him back into the fold as we speak. We talked about it on UCSS today. We talked about Nick Chubb moving around, how he's able to squat and he's doing certain things, and he's being very cryptic on the internet, saying that, listen, don't count Nick Chubb out. And I'm on that train. I believe that you should not count Nick Chubb out, and I think Nick Chubb is somebody that I would bring back. I argued that today with Tyvis and Bull. If you're looking at 3 running backs and you're gonna have a running back that you're gonna draft in this draft with a loaded running back room, a draft, why would you take Pierre Strong over Nick Chubb? That's the only 2 running backs you have on the list right now on the roster in the quarterback room, or in the running back room. So for me, I look at it like this: if you're gonna tell me that I got 3 running backs, I'm gonna draft a running back. If you want to keep Jerome Ford as a what we would like to call a third down running back, that's fine. And also, if you want to get another guy to come on in, and that would be Nick Chubb. Because, at that point in time, you're looking at Pierre Strong. They don't give him carries anyway. He's a special teams guy. But the reason I started thinking about what other places and what other chances are that there's another position group that may be targeted at 33 is because of the deep running back room. You look at the thumbnail. Marion Hampton is a guy that is up there in terms of wanting to being the overall backs. Ashton Genty, who people are saying is a stud running back, one of the best running backs we've seen in a lot of, maybe I would say the last 10 to 15 years, coming out of Boise State. He'll be gone. But if you take a look at the rest of them, every mock draft that I keep coming down to look at, I keep seeing Junkins. I keep seeing Henderson. There's all kind of running backs that keep falling down in these mock drafts. And I started to think, could I see a circumstance where the Cleveland Browns say, okay, we take Travis Hunter at 2, and you get to pick, I guess, 20, 21. And what happens if it isn't the quarterbacks that aren't slipping? What if it's one of these running backs? Is there anybody in your situation? Is there anybody you'd be willing to trade up for in terms of the position group? I think at 33, you still can find one of the top 3, maybe even 4 or 5 running backs in the top 10 in this draft class. And I look at the way the Browns are constructed in the way that where their needs are. And I'm thinking to myself, if, say, for instance, Shedeur Sanders isn't there, maybe Jackson Dart ain't there, do you really want to trade up and get the 3rd quarterback in the draft? Or the 4th quarterback in the draft in the 1st round? Is that what you want to do? And I know you say, G. Bush, are you contradicting yourself here a little bit? Nah, not really. Because if Shedeur Sanders is there, I'm willing to go get him. If Jackson Dart starts to slide, I'm willing to go get him. But if I'm looking at it like this, and even if you wanted Jalen Milroe, right? If you got one of these running backs, are you willing to say, look, man, this guy, I had him top 10 on my board. I had this guy top 15, 20 on my board. I had this guy here, and he's sliding down the board. Would you trade up to go get one of those guys? Because I'm looking at it like this. If you have a quarterback, and the Haslam said this, they said it aloud. They said, listen, we're not going to force a quarterback. We might not be in contention for a quarterback this year, and we're not going to force it. So say, for instance, they've already given us that, and you got running backs on the board that could potentially be a starting caliber running back for you and think you'll be special. Is that something you're willing to do? Because I look at it like this. You got Travis Hunter. That's one offensive weapon that you got. You can get another running back, solidify that room, and still, if you didn't move anywhere, you'd still have 2 third-round picks. And when you look at this running back class, Arroyo, I like him out of Miami. The tight end out of Miami, I like Mason Taylor. I like him out of LSU. I like Harold Fannin Jr. I like him a lot out of Bowling Green. And you're going to need you another tight end. You probably won't get the kid from Penn State, but you got enough to swing and move with, and enough to do. I want to take some of your thoughts on this. Let's see. Give me Hunter at $2 million, Milroe at 33. If he's there, I'll be happy. Shad, you know what? I'll tell you this though too. I'm starting to talk myself into the Milroe. And how mad would y'all be at this though? If you get Travis Hunter, you telling me you could, if you stayed at 33 and took Jalen Milroe, and you already had Kenny Pickett, you already got Joe Flacco, you could straight put a red shirt on him. You could straight give him a shirt. He wouldn't even need to see the field like that this year. You could put him in packages on short yardage. You could give him a goal line package. You could do some things like that. And I mean, that is a situation where when I take a look at the Cleveland Browns and I say, all right, well, you got your blue chip guy you wanted to come out of here with Travis Hunter, and you didn't have to trade up into the first round to get a potential franchise quarterback. So Jalen Milroe at 33, I wouldn't be mad at that at 33 if you just stayed there, because that means you can go get another running back later in the draft in the 3rd round. You still can get a tight end at that point. You still can even go back and later in the round and get you another experimental guy. You could get another tackle. You can get a lot of different things if you just chill out. I don't know if there's a foregone conclusion that it's going to be a quarterback at pick 33 and that the Browns are going to move up. Is there anybody, I'll throw this question out to you guys right now. Is there anybody that you're definitely, if they're there, I'm going to go get them? Let me know who that is. If you got a person that is that falls, above 21 or 22, what person is that and who you going to get? Let's see. Dorsey says, speak for yourself. He also said, if Josh Simmons falls, I'm good. I'm moving back in to take him also. He's the best tackle in the draft. Neither Hudson or Henderson or Judkins are going in the first round. Judkins is Kareem Hunt 2.0. Here's the thing. The good thing about that, though, Shad, is that the Cleveland Browns have an opportunity with 2 third-round picks to be right back there. And I like Giddens from Kansas State. I like Henry from UCF. There's a lot of running backs that you can get in the mid rounds. There's a guy I just saw, the running back from Moffitt, I believe, is from Clemson. I like him as well. Cam Scatterboo, I like him. There's a lot of guys you might be able to get, and you don't got to move up nowhere to get them. You just stay right where you're at. That's the way that the board going to fall to you. Scott says you can even wait for Will Howard later on. Look, I tell you what, look, and this is, so you tell me if I'm crazy a little bit here. Before we get to that, if you tell me we're crazy, hold on, I'll get to your comments, Scott. We gonna get over there. They got us doing, we gonna get to, I'm gonna get your thoughts here coming up really quickly. But first, before we get to that, let's talk, as we do this, let's talk about the people over at FanDuel, right? The NBA playoffs is right around the corner, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, When you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get 250 bonus dollars in bets if your bet wins. I love FanDuel. It's the most, we was talking about this on the show today. It is the most user-friendly by far of any other of the sports gambling apps. And I tell you what, it's easy to understand, it's easy to get your money, and it's easy to cash out as well. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways you can bet on player props. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com/UCSS and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Once again, that is FanDuel. Welcome back to the Ultimate Browns. Let's get into the last comment that we had. I want to get to that again. And he talked about it here. You can even wait for Will Howard later on. When we're talking about this situation with the Browns, what I like the most is there's so many different ways you can skin a cat in this draft. And I asked myself the other day, why am I so excited about this? What makes this so exciting to me? And I think it's exciting because you got a potential of getting another a brand new quarterback that we haven't seen. There's a lot of different young playmakers that we're going to bring in. And for the first time in a long time, I'm thinking that the fact that we have first round draft capital is really like we've been starved of that. So I'm all for the different ways you can think about it. Will Howard, if you like Will Howard, you could potentially get Will Howard in the third or fourth round. You could potentially get him there. And think about what if you go this way. You got Travis Hunter. Some would say that's the best player on the board, period. You got that right. Then you go in the second round and you got pick 33. Say you go there and you say, I'll take Jalen Milroe. I can still maybe Jackson Dart, or even those guys aren't there and you don't really want to go that route, you can go best available running back on the board. Take him. You come back in round 3, take the best available tight end on the board. Now you cooking. Come back in another round 3. Take best available player on the board, whether that's a defensive end, whether it's a tackle, whatever the case may be, and you're still in the 4th round, and you can get a guy like Curtis Rourke or a guy like Will Howard or whatever the case may be. And now you see you've gotten another running back. You've got younger at running back. You've got younger at receiver. You've gotten younger and better at corner. You're retooling a lot of the things. And then when you plug and play some of the guys that they already got, hey, I ain't mad at it. Look, Hunter at 2. I like Dart or Milroe. If you gonna get Travis Hunter at 2, it changes everything. It changes the way you think about it almost. It's like, we already got Travis Hunter. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with whatever you want to do. Now everything is a bonus. That's a bonus point. Chris Brothers, I want the Browns to trade down to 6 or 9, which could add a second and take Matthew Golden. Then in a second, you could take the best running back at 33, then quarterback 8 slots later. Fantastic offense. I don't think Golden's going to be there, which you can add a second and take that. So you want Matthew Golden at 9? Matthew Golden ran in that 4 something. I think he ran a 4.31 or something, 4.2 almost. That really threw a monkey wrench in a lot of people's game. I was going to have him sliding under the radar. It's not happening no more. Deshaun, I like Dart and Matthew Golden. Dart easy. Okay. Will Howard, my sleeper. Take Sanders, please. I'll tell you this. I started saying this last week. Shedeur Sanders, there is a scenario where the Browns can mess around and get Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. Now, you got to take Hunter at 2. But the way it's shaking up, Todd McShay talked about it. A lot of other people talked about it. Mel Kiper's talked about it. You basically have to hope that, A, the Giants take Abdul Carter, that the Raiders or somebody in that ilk will take Ashton Genty, Then you have to, the sticking point is 9 to the Saints. I don't, for me, it's a 65% chance that they take him, and they should. I mean, Derek Carr is injured for the year. They got Spencer Rattler, who's a younger guy. They got an offensive-minded head coach. They're going to play in the dome. Shedeur Sanders, it should be a person at that spot. Here's the thing. I've already said it. There are some teams out there, and there's a lot of them, like Jackson Dart better than Shedeur Sanders. Not saying it's me. I take Shedeur. But there are guys out there that are telling me, guys out there moving around, guess what? Yeah, they like Jackson Dart. So if you're at that position and they do take a quarterback for the Saints, you have to hope it's Jackson Dart instead of Shedeur Sanders. Then things get a little tricky. This is where things get exciting, because I feel like if he gets past the Saints, get ready for the Cleveland Browns to start getting active, because now you have to figure out where you need to get to. Jackson Dart off the board means now I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're at 21. I'm looking at other teams. You could trade with the Minnesota Vikings. As a matter of fact, I just did a mock draft the other day in which I went up and I exchanged picks with the Vikings. And to get to 24, I had to trade the Browns 33 in the second round. I then had to trade the Browns 67th pick in the third round. And I also gave them our first 6th round picks, which I believe is pick 167. And obviously it traded my 33rd pick, and I got to 24 with the Vikings. Now, that may not do anything for you. That may not do nothing for you, because that's 24. The Steelers might take him before that at 21. So the only other opportunity is to make a real deal. Like if he's slipping past the Saints, I would say you have to get up and go talk to the Atlanta Falcons, who only have, I think, 4 or 5 picks in this draft. They've already solidified their situation. They, pay Kirk Cousins the money to back up. They got Penix. I mean, if you think about it, they've had high draft picks, but they got Drake London. They still got young backs. They got a nice young little nucleus, or whatever the case may be. But I think starting at 15 is where things get a little tricky. And yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was intrigued when Tyvis said Abuka at 33. He has Amari Cooper's skill set and is a great route runner. Yeah, I heard it. He snuck that one in today. And I wasn't even really mad at it. You think about it. You draft Travis Hunter. Then you draft Abuka. You still got, third round, you probably going to take a running back. The other third round pick, you probably take a tight end. You still get, by that time, you could get you another quarterback in a 4th, 5th round. Would you be mad at that? Would you be mad at Dorsey says, take a quarterback and then at 2, and then a wide receiver or a running back. Now, I wouldn't be mad at that. Listen, I've always said, if they like Shedeur Sanders, by all means take him at 2 if that's what y'all gonna do. But I do feel like, from what I've been hearing, that the odds-on favorite is now your boy, Travis Hunter, at number 2. So my thing is, guys, get ready to go. What do you want at 33? We talked about it a little bit here. We're going to continue to talk about this coming up here in a moment. But first, before we get back to your thoughts on this stuff, let's get to what we want to do now. Here we go. Let's talk about Buckeye State Credit Union. And listen, this episode is brought to you by Buckeye State Credit Union. If you're unfamiliar with them, let me introduce you to the financial friend you didn't know you needed until now. Buckeye State Credit Union is a local brand that offers a wide variety of products from savings accounts to mortgages or auto loans. They have the lowest rates around and are committed to serving Northeast Ohio. The Cleveland location is in Shaker Heights, but there are also 5 brick and mortar locations across the state. Basically, Buckeye Credit Union is here to help you help make your life a lot easier. They are making banking more convenient, always putting their customers first, so you leave feeling cared for, valued, and respected. At Buckeye Credit Union, our core values are what set us apart: connect, simplify, and adapt. These values make Buckeye Credit Union the right choice for you. For more information, head to BuckeyeCreditUnion.com. For more information, Buckeye State Credit Union, your money simplified. Welcome back to the Ultimate Browns. We over here, G. Bush, with you, talking a little bit with the chat about what we doing at pick number 33. And we talked about a lot about moving back into the first round and what that means. But when you take a look at the way the draft may fall, I look at the way the draft may fall as something of a way to say, all right, well, what if it falls a different way and we don't necessarily look at it from the same way based on who's available and who's left? And there's a scenario in which we kind of alluded to that. There are some scenarios in which you take a quarterback in the 4th round. Now think about this. I'm just going by what Jimmy Haslam says. All right. And I'm thinking of a specific place where we would be at in the draft if it fell a certain type way the first couple of days of the draft, where the Cleveland Browns don't really necessarily take a quarterback until the 4th round. Well, what would happen? What would need to happen if that was going to work? Well, there would need to be a run on quarterbacks, right? We talked about Shedeur Sanders. Say, for instance, the Cleveland Browns are on the clock. They take Travis Hunter. The New York Giants get on the clock and they say, listen, we got Kayvon Thibodeau. We got Brian Burns. Do we need another defensive end? They pass on Abdul Carter and take Shedeur Sanders at 3. Now that starts the clock for a lot of people, because now somebody is going to say, whoa, ho, ho, Abdul Carter is there. Now when you got the Patriots at 4, would they take Abdul Carter? So now somebody may want to get up and take Abdul Carter, and now you may have a situation where there might be a run on quarterbacks. So you get to 9. Shedeur's off the board. They're like, I'm going to tell you what. I like Jackson Dart. Saints take Jackson Dart. Now you got the first 3 quarterbacks off the board, right? Now you get teams moving around. You don't see too many teams that need quarterbacks, and then someone jumps up, say the Jets, where they got Justin Fields, but they covet a certain quarterback, or Shuck. Maybe they view him in Las Vegas or something as a guy that can be somebody that Tom Brady can kind of tutorly get, put under his wing. Maybe Seattle, different places like that. And they say, we got to have it. And then they take Shuck, or they take, one of the developmental guys like a Jalen Milroe. Now, what you have is a run of quarterbacks. You didn't think it was going to be like that, because teams like, the Jets and the teams, after us, like the Giants, we thought they were taking Abdul Carter. So now you got a scenario where maybe Shuck might be off the board. Jalen Milroe might be off the board. Jackson Dart is off the board, and Shedeur Sanders is off the board. And if you don't have a very high, grade on any of the other quarterbacks, then because those quarterbacks were pushed up a little bit, you may have a scenario where there's a lot of great running backs that you had rated very highly, or tight ends that you rated very highly, that are sitting there. And then you end up saying, okay, well, I got Travis Hunter. I got to come out of here with another blue chip, not blue chip, I would say a starting caliber running back, which you can get easily if the quarterbacks go. You're going to come out here with a young tight end that's athletic, is able to do something. And now you still get your second, third round pick where you could go best available. See what I'm saying? It's not that crazy to think about. And I wouldn't be mad at it because you can get some of these development guys like Quinn Ewers. I think Quinn Ewers is going in the third round. I'm not going to lie. A lot of these dudes, Quinn Ewers is going lower than people think. I think Will Howard will be in that third round rank. I know Rourke out of Indiana will be there. Gabriel will be there. Those guys are going to be in that mix, right? So I don't necessarily believe that it's a lock to take a quarterback at 33, or there's a lock for that quarterback for us to trade back up and do something like that. I just don't see it. See what I mean? Especially if the quarterbacks that they want are off the board. If Shador goes 3, it may set a chain of event to say, okay, well, I got to go get Jackson Dart in a hurry. And some teams may move up to even go get that. They may be just, they're not going to play around with you. Before we get to your comments here, let's see. Before we get to your comments, we'll get to one more read. And we will get to your comments on what you guys think that they would do at 33 as a slam dunk. But before we do that, you know what I got to do? We got to get into, let's do it. Pull this up here. Let's talk about Monarch Money, man. I tell you what, man, I'll be losing all kind of money. I don't even know what I'll be doing. Right? Ever check your bank account and wonder where did all the money go between dining out, online shopping, all them Jordans, entertainment? It's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth, man. I'll tell you what, man, I need something like that, man. When you spending Jordan money, when you out here just swiping away, you look around, you're like, dang, bro, I didn't even know I had that. How many apps do I got? Do I need that streaming data too? I need that streaming site. I don't need all that stuff, man. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch Money to check out your finances, track your spending, and even plan long-term goals, man. Take control of your finances with Money Monarch. Use the code word LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off of your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off for your first year. We are back. Welcome to the Ultimate Browns. We got a couple more minutes here with you before we get up out of here, but we want to talk about pick number 33. What are you doing at 33? How you moving with it? And let's get to the chat. Let's see. Let's get to a chat. What we got going here? Tyler Shuck, 4th round. He's moving up. I don't know if he'll be there. He may be there. I think they're going to move him up to like the late 2nd. Tuck, they have to trade down to get Manning next draft. I don't listen. Here's the thing about the Manning thing. I don't think they're going to be bad enough to get Manning. I don't even know if Manning's going to come out, but under no circumstances do I think they're going to be bad enough to get to Manning. Let me explain to you why. Manning he has a name, he has a pedigree. And if he's at the top of the draft and the Browns aren't one of the worst teams, why would anybody at the first pick of the draft give that up if he's a generational player? I talked about this on UCSS. No one said, hey, listen, when Trevor Lawrence came out, there was no way of getting that pick. When Andrew Luck came out, there was no way of getting that pick. Who else? When John Elway came out, there was no way you were getting that pick. When those guys are generational guys and we hype them up so much, there's no way that a team's going to let you trade up to go get him. If they need a quarterback, they're going to keep him. I don't care if you offer them 5 first-round picks. Sheesh. When John Gruden is oohing and awing over a quarterback means something. I didn't see him lit up like that since Andrew Luck quarterback camp video. He was very happy in what he saw from your boy. Will Howard. He like Will Howard. T Money. I like Dart and Howard, either or. If Hunter is that good, why not take him at number one? Well, listen, here's why we say that. It's the same reason that somebody can have Shedeur Sanders on their board as overall top, like maybe 15 or 20, but they have him going. Some people have him going to Cleveland at 2. When you're a quarterback, you automatically get pushed up the mountain. That's just what it is. And Travis Hunter is a generational type player. And this is what I believe. This is what a lot of people believe. You're getting 2 for the price of 1. I think he's probably the 1 or 2 best corners in the draft. If you just play corners, I think he's the best receiver in the draft, bar none. And if you got a guy like that, it's not a knock on Shedeur Sanders. It's just saying how good Travis Hunter is. I mean, and Cam Ward's going to go number 1 overall because he's the best quarterback in the draft. And when you need a quarterback, it trumps everything that you're trying to do. I gave this little scenario and this little thought experiment right here. People talk about taking the best available overall, right? People talk about, hey, take the best available player every single year. And some people happen to think that best available player right now is Abdul Carter. And they'll say, take Abdul Carter. You just take Abdul Carter. He's the best player. And I said, well, what if you already got Myles Garrett, right? He says, yeah. So say, for instance, next year you got Myles Garrett and you take Abdul Carter, right? So now you have Abdul Carter, Myles Garrett, Mike Hall Jr., right? Who you took in the second round last year. Say Mike Hall Jr. gets 10 sacks. He looks like he's a young beast. Hey, say Abdul Carter has a great rookie year. He has 12 sacks. And Myles Garrett is the defensive player of the year. You got 3 dominant defensive linemen. Now, say, things don't go all that well. You got the 5th pick in the draft because you didn't have a quarterback. Maybe Flacco got hurt. You didn't get a quarterback in this draft. Well, if you drafted in the top 5 and you're there, somebody says, well, listen, we believe that, Manning is there. And Nussmeier, he had a great year. Those 2 are locks. The teams up there, they're not giving those picks up. We're keeping those quarterbacks. So now you're sitting at 5, and the next 2 available players at 3 and 4 may be defensive ends, maybe defensive tackles. And they may tell you, this guy's generational. He's one of the best defensive tackles we've seen in 20 years. The thought experiment asks this question to you, the drafter, the people who like best available player. Even though you have Myles Garrett, even though you have Abdul Carter, even though you have Mike Hall Jr., and you need a quarterback, do you, at pick number 5 next year, take the generational defensive lineman because that's your philosophy, or would you reach and take a quarterback who some say is probably the 8th or 9th best player in the draft? If you're a purist, you say I'm gonna take the defensive lineman again because it's the best available. If you're like me, I'm looking around like, we're not about to we didn't drafted another defensive. We drafted defensive tackle in 2023, or excuse me, 2023. And when 2024 we came back, we got Abdul Carter, we got Myles Garrett. We have no quarterback, and it's the reason why we keep drafting in the top 5 because we don't have a quarterback. I'm taking a quarterback. Does that make sense? That's just the rationale. That's the rationale that I think about in terms of that when I see people say best available player. It's just one of those things. It's kind of wild. Let's see. Let's get to this really quickly. All right. This show went by kind of quick, boy. I'll tell you what. I tell you what, man. It went kind of quick, man. Oh, by the way, we have to tell you, today's episode was brought to you by Epicor, right? Make sure you check that out. Today's episode and title sponsor is Epicor for this podcast. Let's get to a couple more things right here. A couple more questions for you guys. Answers, we'll get to that. And We will make sure we get you out here at a good time. Don't forget, coming up at 5:30, Mikey McNuggets is pulling up. 5:30 is with the Ultimate Cavs. Make sure you check him out coming up here as well. We are moving around, bro. We got a lot of great shows. David Greenshield, what OSU running back do you like the best, and what rounds would you take him? You know what, David, this is a great question. Because it's like every day I go back and forth on him. I like Judkins. I think, but so let me get this. But I think Travion Henderson has just a tiny little bit more upside. You know what I'm saying? I like the way Judkins runs. He runs hard, man. But I love the way Travion Henderson blocks on third down. He can catch the football. He had a couple little injuries earlier in his career. But let me tell you something, man. I love the burst that I saw him in the playoffs. He looked like for the first time he was healthy ever. For the first time I see Travion Henderson, and I've been watching him going back to high school. That is what they expected him to be. But he was always just seemed not to be 100%, but the burst he showed, like against Oregon, think about this. He looked like one of the best athletes on the field against the best teams in the country. Tennessee looked dynamic. Oregon looked like the most explosive guy on the field. Texas looked like a guy that can move in space with Texas athletes. And then coming down to Notre Dame, they was just outmatched, right? I love Travion Henderson. I think Judkins is going to be great too. I just think he has a little bit of more burst. What you think about that? What y'all think about that? We really don't know what's going on to happen at pick number 2. You know what? Would I be surprised if the Browns, if they took somebody else besides Shedeur or Travis Hunter at this point or 2? I would say yeah. I was way on the Shedeur train. I still would draft Shedeur at 2 if the Browns believe in him. But I think the momentum is building for Travis Hunter from what I'm hearing. Just from what I'm hearing behind the scenes, they really like Andrew Berry. Really, really like Travis Hunter. Suck for Manning. Start Pickett. What's up, man? What's up, my man? Ian, I see you. Hunter at 2, running back 2nd round, quarterback 3rd round, tight end 4th round. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Would not be mad at that at all. I like the Kansas State running back Giddens, and of course I like Harold Fannin Jr. coming from my alma mater, Camp McKinley High School. Bowling Green, he's a MAC alum. I'm an OU Bobcat, MAC East. Man, listen, it's a good day, man. Hey, Abdul Carter, listen, let me just put a bow in this so we don't, let me put a bow in this so we can get this, because we can get y'all up out here. Let me tell you about this. Abdul Carter is still a beast. Please don't take me saying Travis Hunter is the pick that I would turn in, but as me bashing Abdul Carter. He's nice, bro. I always want to say that so I don't feel like people don't get it. He's nice. If I had to come out of here with Abdul Carter, I'd be okay with it. Like I would say, man, I would like to get Travis. I would have liked to have Shedeur. But am I going to be crying? No. It's Abdul Carter, bro. I'm going, listen, when you drafted in the top 2, you have to come away with blue chip talent. You can't swing and miss. You got to come through with a playmaker or somebody doing something. That's why I don't believe in trading down like that. Trade down for what? Trading down for nothing. I got Travis Hunter right there. Take him. I got Abdul Carter right there. Take him. If you want Ashton Genty right there, take him. You can't get Cam Ward. See what I'm saying? These is money makers right here. By no way am I trading down to like 7. No, I'm leaving here. It's like playing winner, a deal or no deal. You got $300,000 in hand. But they be like, do you want to go for that $1 million? You want to go for that $1 million? For what? I came here with nothing. I'm leaving here with that 300,000. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I'm gonna listen. If they don't like the quarterback, I'm leaving here with something. Carter and Miles is a lethal combination, and guess what? If I came here with 0, the Browns came here with 3 wins, and they had a lot of holes. Receiver, they don't got a quarterback. They need another running back. They need another defensive end. They need something to go with Myles Garrett. If you got an opportunity to get all that together, why would I do? No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And with that being said, man, we appreciate you guys pulling up on me. 173 people in here right now. Hit the like button. Can't wait for you guys. I cannot wait till the draft comes. We got a lot of great stuff coming up. Cavs season is coming up. Postseason. Stick right here. Mikey McNuggets is going to get you ready for Cavs coming up in the playoffs. #1 seed. We need them to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And, of course, what we do right over here is Ultimate Browns. We will have something great planned for you for the draft. It'll be something we'll put it out, but it's going to be smooth. Make sure you keep it locked right here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show Network, where we can give you the most draft coverage possible. With that being said, you never know where I might show up, radio, television, or internet. But if you want a fresh take and a fresh cut on sports, your boy G. Bush will always deliver. Have a great evening, and most importantly, go Browns.